A little bit about how you got involved and what you may probably you may have learned something from Global Agenda Seminar, maybe you haven't. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, thank you very much. When I joined the Rugby World Cup Organizing Committee in 2012, and my first contact to the organizing committee was 1 year before that, August in 2011. Then there was a heavyweight in my university rugby club, so-called in Japanese, Dai Senpai. In Japan Rugby Union, he was a vice president then. And I made a contact with him, and I'd really love to be involved. And about 10 months or a year later, my cell phone rang from a general manager of the Rugby World Cup Organizing Committee. That was the starting point.
Oh, wow. So you contacted them?
Yeah.
Without really knowing anybody there?
The vice president of the Japan Rugby Union,
yes,
was in the same university rugby club as mine.
Oh, I see.
But I didn't know him, but I didn't have experience to actually exchange the messages and then phone calls. But I just tried to find out, try to find his email address and send it, and got a response very happily. Yeah, that was the starting point.
Oh, I see.
He transferred my message to the general manager in the committee.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah.
That is how you sort of made it happen. Great. Yeah. How was so you have been engaged or involved with World Cup for quite some time, even before last year or the year before. So how did it work, and what was your experience like?
I think I had 3 phases during the 7 years with Rugby World Cup Organizing Committee. The first 2 years from 12 to 14 was with a very, very small office with only 5, 6, 7, 8 people working there. And my first work to do was preparing for the recruitment of host cities. We needed to decide where to host a tournament. The result was we chose 12 host cities across Japan, from Sapporo down to Kumamoto and Oita. But in 12 and 13, we didn't know that, so we were heavily working on that. That was my first job. I documented, I produced a document to pass on to the local governments to ask them, this is the Rugby World Cup. These are the basic conditions, and have you got interest in it? Please, raise their hands for the tournament. That was the first phase. In the second phase, I was because I had project management experience in construction industry. I was very lucky to be appointed as a head of planning and integration. In that time, there were the CEO and COO who was from Australia with lots of experience in sports industry, and below him he set 4 heads, including my planning and integration, the marketing, finance, and the venues. That I was one of them. They started, and from 14 April to September 16, or about 2.5 years.
Yes.
My role was, planning and integration, which is, in other words, leading the overall planning with the master schedule and the basic plans for each function. There were 30 or 40 functions necessary to stage a tournament. For example, match management, medicals, and city operations, and the broadcasts, etc. That was the second phase, the planning. Yes, planning, the basic planning and integration. And in third phase, my role was shifted to the planning of legacy of the tournament. We often use the term legacy in sports world. I think as Olympic people do as well, and it's about difference between before and after the tournament.
I see.
And yeah, so what I did was making the connection stronger, closer between rugby world, rugby union, and local governments in 12 host cities. In our history, we have rugby union central headquarters in Tokyo, and each prefecture has their own union. But they didn't have a good working connection with, and for example, Shizuoka prefecture, or Kumamoto prefecture, Fukuoka, or Sapporo city, etc. We really wanted to make that happen, to help continue the working together after the tournament to grow the rugby as one of the good options of sports for local people. So the planning for that was my third first job.
I see.
That was between roughly from 17 to 19. And during the tournament time, planning is all gone. So all we had to do was do the tournament. So everybody was involved in operation at the venues.
Right. So, well, I think there was, since rugby was not that well known in Japan, and so I think there was a little bit of concern compared with Olympics and probably soccer. How big is it going to be? How popular is it going to be around the public? But it turned out to be such a great event, and everybody got so excited. And I think tell us a little bit about your experience of this one team, or how you made sure that the people are engaged.
Frankly, there was a big surprise for us, for us, working on site, and basically, and preparing for the tournament, and preparing for the tournament operations, and the team preparations are different. We didn't connect it, each other. We didn't connect each other, but I think that one team concept was, I think the Japanese national team, I think they made it as their catchphrase.
Yes.
And a powerful banner, maybe 1 or 2 years before the tournament. And that became publicly known right before the tournament. I think that was carried out intentionally. They wanted to make it known by fans.
I see.
Yeah, and I think one big event I'd like to introduce here. It was some people might remember Japan's fourth match in Yokohama on the 13th of October was under the risk of cancellation because strong typhoon was coming over, and we didn't know whether we could make the match on the day until the morning on the day. Yeah, our operational members, maybe they didn't sleep the night. And they kept preparation. They kept doing recovery of the stadium or around the stadium through the night. And that news was obviously known by the team members too. So I think that was a time the operational people of the World Cup and the teams and the Japan national team staff, they got understood each other. And that was an amazing moment for us. The two teams are really separate all the way. All the way from 12, 13, 14. But that timing was a one team moment.
I see. That's great. So what do you do now? I mean, after such an extraordinary experience of sort of working together, and since you have a project management experience, and the project management is always a great experience, but it ends. So how do you keep the momentum, or how do you keep the spirit, or sort of enthusiasm? Is a different matter to me. So what do you do now, and how do you still contact, or do you still keep in touch with the people who work for the World Cup, or is it something sort of like, okay, let's go on to the next phase, each one?
You may be amazed. Let's take an example of baseball. Major League Baseball in the US and the professional baseball in Japan, their scales were nearly the same in 1990s.
I see.
But in these 20 years, big change happened. Yeah, Japanese baseball lags far behind.
Yes.
I think 10 times. US is 10 times as big as Japan now.
I see.
That happened in soccer too. If we compare England and Japan. Yeah, there are little difference then. Well, these 20 years made that difference. And well, I think most of people working in sports industry in Japan really want to make the change happen in a positive way, and particularly in scale, but probably in quality too. We really want to see sports is wanted by local people, kids,
right,
their parents. That would be making in a more sustainable way.
I see.